Welcome to my channel. It's another exciting episode. Today we will be talking about a couple of things that have happened within the last few weeks with me and also in Nigeria. You know, I've been away for a bit, like almost 2 weeks. We will talk about justice for Uwa. We'll talk about George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter, racism in the church, Hushpuppi getting arrested, Diezani Madueke Alison now becoming a citizen of Dominica. And that will be it, guys. Welcome to Akah Bants. So guys, to be honest, I got exhausted and I tried to run away from the world. It was too much. I almost had a meltdown and I realized that I had to keep my sanity. Well, how did it start? Where did all this come from? I mean, one of the things in life is like, sometimes things happen and you can't explain it. Well, sometimes you can, and oh my god, I'm ranting. Okay, so things were happening to me and I traced them back. I was just like, what's happening? Why is this happening? And then I had to find those triggers. And the first thing that I could spot or talk about or find that was a trigger was basically all the negativity going on in the world. I didn't notice when it started, but then looking back now, that's where it started from. It first started with the horrific video of George Floyd. I watched that video to its entirety. I think that something in me died and something in me that I didn't like was almost coming alive. To see the way that a man was murdered on the street in broad daylight by a cop who was also getting off of that, and the fact that nobody stopped him. In fact, that cop knew that he was killing somebody else, and the audacity of it all for him to do it in public. I remember feeling helpless and powerless on my part, and also just how powerless the black race is. I saw George Floyd cry for help. I watched that entire video and I saw a man that was alive and I saw life snuff out of him. That's the first time I've experienced anything like that. First time I've experienced anything like that in my life. I have never seen someone die, someone take their last breath like, this man cried, I can't breathe. He cried for his mother. I saw the spirit leave. I had never seen that in my entire life before. Not even in movies. You don't see that. You don't see that in movies. You don't get that in films. I saw the paramedics come and get him, and I saw them waiting for his murder to finish. They checked his pulse and left. The other policemen allowed it to happen. I think there is a reason why they say sensitive image, because obviously it affected my mental health. People like me are not strong enough, and I realize that. I'm not strong to see stuff like this and be the same. I couldn't breathe for a couple of days. Like, I couldn't breathe well. I was weak, and then I started building anxiety, started building in me. Because the truth is, I have family in the US, I have a father, an aged father, I have a brother, I have cousins, and you know what, I almost got into that, well, at least the women are safe, it's only the men we're worried about, but it's a lie. This is happening to so many other people, so many women in the United States of America who are black and of color. And I just felt like my family isn't safe, and all that was just getting into me. The thoughts of just this possibly happening to my family was getting to me. And then Trump continues to enable these people. Videos of police brutality started coming out, and then the anger in me began to pile up. But if I could sip it small, it was growing. And I got so angry and started feeling that hate. I also remember feeling let down by so many people, so many pastors that we look up to. White pastors, our faves. They weren't speaking up enough. They weren't speaking at all. And most of these supremacists go to church. And so the fight against racism starts in church, because pastors have a huge role to play in how people's minds work. God hates racism, so why aren't people saying it enough? So many pastors would rather not upset members. So I just got upset by that. Since then, I've been thinking a lot, and I really come to the conclusion that, to be honest, I had a phone conversation, a Zoom conversation with a couple of my friends. So myself and my friends, We have a Zoom call like once a week, and for the first time, we actually talked about really deep, important stuff, and we touched on this Black Lives Matter, and somebody brought up a good point. It's time that we started looking after ourselves as a black people, as a black race, as one body. It's time that we started looking after us, because in the end it comes down to economics. Why did the black people go as slaves to the United States or to Europe? It's because of the economics. The white people wanted to build their land. Black people have to patronize black-owned businesses. That's it. We need to start building our stuff. We need to start owning our stuff, and we need to start patronizing our stuff. That's it. It all comes down to economics, because money gets power. Money buys power. We need to start patronizing businesses that have a huge portion of black employees working in the top management and decision-making levels. We need to give up our Gucci's and our Tommy Hilfigers and patronize some of our African artists and designers. Yes, we would have to pay the cost of not feeling that soft premium leather. Yes, some will be below your standard. You're not used to it. The leather may not be as good as you're used to, or the stitching of the clothes may not be perfect, but with time, with consistent patronage of our black businesses, these people will get better. Our businesses will get better. Take it as your own, I feel, contribution to doing something for the cause, not just using a hashtag. That's what I feel. That's how I feel we will get out of this. It's not by using a hashtag or putting posts on social media. For years, I've been wearing a Nigerian designer called Jeff Urban, and to be honest, guys, this is by a Nigerian designer. Jeff Urban is amazing. Check him out on Instagram. I'm gonna put his, stuff here. But there are other designers out there. Blacks need to start looking into ownership of our art, our businesses, our land, and also our platforms. My wife brought my attention to Vlisco, a company that makes our Ankara, quote and unquote, clothes that are majorly, heavily influenced by African designs on their print. Vlisco is a Dutch-owned company that has 99% of its buyers black audiences, black people all over the world. And they did not step into the Black Lives Matter, made no comment about it, until someone called their bullshit on it. Someone called them out, and then they had to save face. We need to start recognizing culture vultures in our society, and we have to say no to such. We need to stop patronizing people who are feeding off of us. It's the same thing. Get a black man to harvest the cotton in the field, and we use that to make profit. Oh, the black man loves this. Let's get their money and still keep them under. Guys, it's time that we begin to look within. We need to look into ourselves. China was only able to become a powerful country because they began to look within. They closed their borders, began to manufacture, and began to patronize themselves. Now, they manufacture for the world, not just themselves. I hope I'm not too serious, guys. It's just, Anyways, on a lighter note, this is art from my wife, so please, it's not here because of just beauty. You can buy. She has a lot of art that she makes. So please check her out at Claire Idera, and make sure you buy a couple of art pieces if you want. And you can commission her to make some for you if you like. But yeah, patronize African artists, patronize African designers. But now all this was going on in the abroad and getting to me. And then before I knew what was happening, stories of rape and killings of our sisters in Nigeria started coming out. There was Uwa, who was raped and killed by several men in a church. That story came out. And then stories of Tina, a young kid. Other cases of brutality started coming out. Stories of a man arrested for making out with a 3-year-old girl. And then one man said if his wife was not around, he would help himself with his daughter. At this point, there was now fear of the entire world. It just engulfed me. But again, I also remember having this same feeling of helplessness, of being powerless, of not doing anything. I remember feeling even disdain towards social media. What will all these hashtags do? What will all these, hiding behind keypads to talk do? Also, there were so many stories of rape from celebrities. And how the kind of flimsy excuses that some of them were giving. I was young. Boldly, boldly saying it on social media, on Twitter, I will rape you. Oh, you came to a party without wearing pants and you don't want me to rape you? My own with some of these celebrities was that from the moment Twitter came into action, when was Twitter ever? When was the first time Twitter became an app? Like 2010. As they entered Twitter, they started typing rape. 2011, I will rape. 2014, I will rape you. And you are still saying you were young? What you launched the app with was rape. Man, and also at the end of the day, man, it's not even about being mindful of what you say, because at the end of the day, especially with issues like this, sometimes what you say, what you type, just like gives us a peek into how your mind works or how you think or what you're thinking about. And if you're thinking about something like rape, I'm not even saying like you make a stupid comment or say something like silly or have a stupid thought, but like you mean say people literally see women as objects, as a thing, as, I mean, my wife and I were discussing, and it just, I mean, some of you have heard the stories of the policemen who raped some prostitutes with pure water sachet. Oh, good. So some of these women were not even prostitutes. They were just leaving the club, and then they carried them that they were prostitutes. Now you raped women with pure water sachets. Some of you that are living abroad, you will not know what pure water sachet is, and we don't have in this Ziploc bag. You use Ziploc to rape somebody. It means that this thing is a toy. It's like you're using a bottle for masturbation. I don't even know how to quantify how objectifying that just made it clear in my mind. Man, I started feeling drained and exhausted. I also was going through something special in my personal life, and then all this negative news and vibe and energy really began to get to me, and I really felt fear, exhaustion, and I wanted to really give up. In fact, the previous video that I put on this channel, let me not even lie, it was something that I recorded like a month ago, and I just put it up because I was just like, my manager is not going to allow me to rest until I post it. And because I hadn't posted anything all week, I just said, let me put this up there. So yeah, it was just out of respect for you guys, but I was not in the headspace to even create anything. I started blaming it on everybody, on everything. I did try to use my social media a bit, but it was just one of those cases where I would just go, type something, say something I had to say, and out. I truly realized that I am someone who thrives on the energy around me. I get energy from, people, from what people say, what people act, what people laugh around me, and that's why I love to make people laugh. Because when I see people laugh, I also am laughing, I'm happy. And issues of humanity really gets to me. And that's why I feel strongly about political issues, because it affects humanity on so many facets, on such a large scale. One policy, one decree, one law from one man or one parliament can affect hundreds, thousands, millions of people. That's why they say this thing is sensitive issue. It's a sensitive image. And that's why sometimes I don't like seeing these things. But then when I don't see these things or look, it then makes me like almost not be part of the world or see what's happening. Anyway, when the world seems dark and nowhere to turn to, what do? You turn to the only true source of light. I turn to God. This whole thing was just affecting me and indirectly affecting my family, my life, But God gave me strength to carry on. And in a period of 2 days, I started feeling better. And then I started talking to close friends and my pastors, who also gave me much needed strength. And just, being with my wife and, just having family is the best thing, to be honest. And I must say that I am better. I feel better now. And thank God that there is glimmer of good news happening, at least hope. So the first news is that the Governors Forum in Nigeria has declared a state of emergency on violence against women. There has been recent news of the latest development on Uwa killings also. So what's happened is that we have heard that it was allegedly a pastor. The pastor is the prime suspect of the case now, and he sent killers to actually take her life because, she didn't want to abort the baby from their affair. But, there's been a little bit of progress on that. So I was like, okay. And then Busola Dakolo put up a post that the police have finally finished their investigation after like a year or so, and they are ready to proceed on the case with, Pastor Biono Fatoyinbo, who allegedly raped her years ago. And they've taken it, said something to the Ministry of Justice. And see, the thing is, this may take a couple of years, but the thing is, it's because it's Nigeria. So we might not see the immediate result or see the result as quick as we should want it. But I also do believe that the Dakolos are relentless and they're going to fight with everything they have. But I want to just give a huge salute to Busola Dakolo and say, she's fighting for women and she is a huge role model to women everywhere. She's fighting for so many women and giving a voice to so many women who cannot or who have not the opportunity to speak up. I do know that someday, one day, there will be victory. There will be victory one day. It might take a year, it might take 2 years, it might take 5 years, but one man will come, one just man, on top of the maneuvering and the manipulations of all the cases, not just Busola Dakolo's case, but most of these cases that have to do with financial impropriety, has to do with violence against women, so many cases, and injustices. One man will just come and say, no, we have to turn this around. Oh no, this is wrong. We have to do something about it. One man will come and upturn the case. One man will come and say, you know what, let's reopen that case and let's look at the facts. And that will be it. I think the only thing that is clear is that we have to say no to rape. We have to say no to rape culture. We have to say no to rape apologists and to violence of any kind against black men and against our women, black or white. Well, in other news, did you people hear about Hushpuppi being arrested? This guy, Hushpuppi flexed so long, so hard, and so much on social media that we even forgot to remember that he was a fraud.
Money that was supposed to go to unemployed Americans could be in the hands of scammers. According to the website Crescent Security, the Secret Service apparently warning states all over the country that a Nigerian crime ring is exploiting this pandemic and committing fraud against several states, their unemployment insurance programs. According to that same website, the potential losses are somewhere in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Kristen? Wow, that's a lot of money.
Sometimes we literally forget that this man is 419, like he's a Yahoo guy. Look, it's cases like this that make me see that the wicked will always get their reward. It might not even happen in their lifetime. Sometimes the children will have, how does the Bible say? The children will have rotten teeth for the sour grapes that their parents ate. Sometimes it happens like that. But in this case of Hushpuppi, it didn't take too long. When I saw the news, I was like, hey God, who will patronize Gucci now? Who will buy Versace? And at the same time, I was just like, this guy is ballsy. This guy got balls. He don't dey steal. So he don't enter head say in be a berry popsy. He has been stealing for so long that nobody caught him and nobody could trace him. So it got into his head that he now said, you know what, I'm not going to go and do the one that will pass me. I'm sure he started feeling untouchable. He went to do 419 on the American government. He planned, and I think he even succeeded in siphoning $35 million from American government. So how he did it was that he hacked into a company's email account and posed to manufacture ventilators for COVID-19 patients. So the American government paid $35 million. Oh! It's not police that came for him. FBI, Interpol came straight up, found him. And you know what's funny is that previously, Mumfa, who is, a popular guy like him too on social media, a former friend of his and now his rival, was caught by, police a year ago. But the difference is, he was caught in Nigeria and he was let go. Well, in Dubai, a lot of Yahoo boys stay there because Dubai does not discriminate against money. So, as far as it is in their economy, they are using it to build. In USA, Yahoo boys will be caught because USA cares about optics, so they front to care about this kind of things. So if you're getting illegal money, they will find you. But in Dubai, if you are caught, busy. But before you are caught, they will not ask you where you're getting your money from. Lie, just let it be in your account. But in Nigeria, They will ask you, where is the source of your money for the first 2 weeks. Then they will now even catch you. But just mistakenly throw small money on Nigerians. Whoa! Chairman! They will hail you. They will even make you prince over them. Anyways, I actually learned that after all this, none of them is as smart as Diezani Madueke. She became a citizen of Dominica, and then she escaped all this nonsense. So this brings me to the next topic, which I am about to speak about. Diezani, after stealing hundreds of millions of dollars and having millions of dollars in jewelry that was seized from her, and contracting almost billions of dollars illegally, as awarding contracts illegally, the EFCC had been on chase of this woman for 5 years, but all to no avail. They could not get her. Do you know what happened? So the Dominica and Dominican Republic are one of those countries that they have no extradition policy. So they cannot be forced or cajoled. They cannot be forced or cajoled or by other countries to cooperate in the arrest and transfer or seizure of financial criminals. This woman secured a citizenship, and not only that, she scored a job. She went to become commissioner. Let me read some of the tweets for you. Hearing about Diezani appointed as commissioner in Dominican Republic, my mind went straight to Jay-Z words in Otis, where he said, "Flee in the G4450. I might surface political refugee. Asylum can be purchased. Everything's for sale. I got 5 passports. I'm never going to jail." Who? But yeah.
A former Nigerian oil minister, Diezani Alison Madueke, is facing charges in several countries, accused of using her office to amass a fortune from bribery.
Diezani's 1,897 jewelry items were worth $40 million. This is not money that was recovered from her, just jewelry. And they seized it from her. 198 wristwatches, 77 brooches, 267 necklaces, 304 earrings, 315 rings, 419 bangles, 174 necklaces and earrings, 78 bracelets, 74 pendants. My God. Oh, somebody apples. You remember our former petroleum minister Diezani Alison Madueke, the one alleged for 20 billion embezzlement? $20 billion. She's now a Dominican Republic citizen and also their Trade and Commerce Commissioner for Trade and Commerce. And to be honest, like, Diezani has always been smart. That's why she got the job. I mean, but she used that smartness for evil though. Like, we don't even mind, but how will Lily FCC collect our money now? That's my own $20 billion. Jesus. Abacha is in his grave saluting Diezani. While we are still watching how to get away with murder, our own Diezani Madueke was busy planning on how to get away with looting. Man even became a commissioner in the Dominican Republic. I just cannot can. I cannot can. This woman is deep though. Deep. She played it. She played it right. Because, to be honest, what a shame on the Nigerian government. What a shame. Nothing spells out failure. Nothing spells out failure like for Buhari's government and for Buhari himself more than this. The mere fact that Buhari campaigned and won on the folk tale that they sold to us about his integrity and how he will make scapegoats out of corrupt people. Nigeria is more corrupt now than it was when he was entering. And the fact that everyone felt like Diezani is the singular person that all Nigerians agreed would be the scapegoat that he will get first. She's now free. She's away from us. We can't get her. At the end of the day, guys, it be things. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give us a thumbs up. And please comment in this video. Okay, guys? Bye.